Right, so what else do we know? We produced a series of videos 2 Thursdays ago, 13 days ago, in which we described how there were about 400 million people under lockdown. Now, that the very first time that I then saw that reported in anything resembling the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, something resembling the mainstream media, was the following Monday, 4 days later. And again, I was chatting to Queen Maria this morning, and I said to him, I didn't do any videos on the coronavirus, until now. Obviously, I'm instructed by Mr. Miller, specifically because we were providing information that was so far ahead of the curve that sooner or later people were bound to begin disbelieving us. I mean, we were layers and layers and layers in advance of anything that you could see in most other sources. But as I said in those videos, we have exceptional sources of intelligence, truly good. But now is perhaps the right time to say to you that it looks now as if about 750 million people are under quarantine / lockdown / curfew. There are various degrees of this lockdown thing. I have a very close contact, one of my two best friends in the world of the past 30 years in China. She lives in a city many, many miles, about as far away from Wuhan as you can get. And she's been telling me that they're under lockdown, and I can't see it reported anywhere in the media. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Therefore, it's not what we're hearing now that there are 750 million people under lockdown of a population of 1.4 billion. So let's say, for the sake of a round number, and to be conservative, 1/2 of the Chinese population is locked down. 1/2. Morgan Stanley, the bank, have got a thing. It's actually on my computer at the moment, where they monitor the output of energy, smoke and particulates and things like that. And the Chinese economy, as a matter of fact, is operating at somewhere between 20 and 50% of its normal level. Fact. Now, the net effect of the Chinese economy running at between 20 and 50% of its normal capacity is that there's necessarily a lower demand than usual for oil, coal, iron ore, copper, manganese, chrome, and a lesser ability to buy certain things. So lesser demand for and less money available for things like gold and platinum. Now, the gold price is going up at the moment. I don't want to confuse matters too much. I'm just trying to illustrate a principle as well as I can. The result is that in an economy such as ours, which is commodity driven, the lifeblood of our economy, the money that flows into our economy to stimulate it, and then to be expended on consumable things like health, where you don't really get a financial return for giving people HIV/AIDS drugs. Yeah, you lengthen their life and they're more productive, but you're not really scoring a lot out of it. And many other aspects of our economy which sit somewhere between production and consumption, where the money gets used up, it gets burnt, as it were. That money comes from commodities. It flows into our economy and it stimulates the economy and it gets used up, and we always need more and more and more and more and more of it. We can't do without it. Our economy cannot do without it. There are very few aspects to our economy which can live without it. Yes, there are some farmers who export, say, citrus from Kirkwood and areas like that, and many other areas, who would still have demand for their products, even if our economy was in a very bad way. But the rest of us would be very badly affected. The rest of us would be, I don't want to exaggerate this, without that inflow of capital from China and other places, but particularly China, we will be staring down the barrel of the gun of financial devastation. Not because I say so, but because this is our economy and this is mathematics. So I think that you're beginning to get the real gist of this video. That Saatlanders is warning you of the potential threat, devastating threat to South Africa's economy by the slowdown in the economy of China due to the coronavirus. I think by now you will have made sense of why the Chinese government is reacting so dramatically to supposedly just 1,900 deaths. Firstly, the death rate, that death rate does not match at all the quadratic models for epidemics and viruses, let's say in virology and epidemiology. So there's no ways, it's not possible. It's no ways that the Chinese and this new virus have invented a new kind of mathematics. The virus might have a higher infection rate, a lower infection rate, it might be more lethal, it might be less lethal, but ultimately it has to fit into mathematical models. The likelihood is that the number of deaths from the 1st of December, when this thing first reared its ugly head, until now, I think today is the 18th or 19th of February, what is it? 19th of February, has been something like 50, 100, 150,000. Those numbers fit within the quadratic models. The reason the Chinese are reacting as heavily as they are, as heavy-handedly as they are, is because this is a biological warfare agent that threatens the entire state of China. That's why they've been willing to shut down their entire economy over something that supposedly has only killed 1,900 people. In a country of 1.4 billion, that is 1,400 million people. Now does it make more sense to you? And these guys are going to continue as long as they have to protect themselves. It is the lesser of two evils. Losing 20 to 50% of their economy is better than the absolute pandemic that this virus could turn out to be.